Welcome to our farmer interview series by Global Farmer Network. Hello, I'm Delaney Howell, and this month we're joined by a very special guest to chat about our theme here at Global Farmer Network, which is the topic of water. Amadou Sidibe is no stranger to the topic and had an interesting career, leaving architecture after many, many years to dive into the world of agriculture. So, Amadou, let's dive into your background. Tell us, how did you wind up architecture to a farmer?
Like you said, I'm an architect. I finished my training in 1987 in one of the biggest school of architecture in Europe. That is the Moscow Institute of Architecture. It was the very famous one in USSR by then, Soviet Union, let's say. I came to Mali. Of course, we didn't have much architect, and with my background, I had a chance to do many buildings, and the most famous among them is the Monument of Independence. You know, any event in Mali, political event, it starts by this place. It's very famous. You can talk about Bamako. We were talking about the place of Independence and the Monument of Independence. I'm the author of this project. I had the chance to do it, and we finished building it in 1995. So as an architect, let me tell you that I did a lot of projects. I got a lot of money out of my work. And I've been traveling around the world. I went to Israel, I went to Japan, China, and I discovered in Israel that they were doing agriculture from a greenhouse, and they have somehow a similar climate like Mali. And then in 2012, I decided to purchase a small greenhouse of 320 to see what it can give, because to me, the agriculture of Africa will go through innovation, through technology, And then when I did that, after 1 year, I discovered that the greenhouses is a very good tools for agriculture. So in 2000, let's say 13, I got a loan from bank and from a grant from a program of, let's say, World Bank, was promoting innovation in agriculture. And with my personal fund, I decided to purchase a bigger greenhouse. That one was 5,000 square meters. So it was a very good experience, a very good change in the way one can do agriculture in Mali, in Africa generally. So from there, in 2016, I decided to build the biggest possible greenhouse, 10,000 square meters, which has all available in Israel, the technology available there. That is, let's say, the computerized irrigation, computerized fertigation, the using of artificial intelligence, the soilless, the use of let's say recycling water, because water, like you said, is very important. It's very important, and the use of it, the use of fertilizer to the recycling was something first time in West Africa, and then it's I'm very known to what I did by that than being an architect. So to explain you how did I shift from architecture to agriculture, it's not an easy question. It's happened like that. It's happened because in Africa nothing was done by then. It was done because my job, my traveling around the world, made me discover that there is a technology, and I had enough money by then to purchase it. I did it, and it's happened like that.
So, for those people watching our conversation today who aren't familiar with West Africa, tell us about Mali agriculture. What do people grow? What does it look like in your neck of the woods?
Before 20 years ago, the agriculture of Mali was mainly on cotton, on rice, on maize, like the one we call in French big cultures, So the veg production was not so well known. But today, with the middle class who is richer and richer, who is traveling, They need and they want good vegetable, good tomatoes, good sweet melon, good watermelon, with quality sweets because they can buy it. Because today, Africa people are getting richer. We are more and more. We have a good land. If 60% of the world, we call it of the world land that can be used are in Africa, and today only 2% of those 60% are used. So we have a good opportunity to do more and more. We have sun, we have good land, we have good water, we have young population. So the challenge for us is to use innovation in agriculture in order to increase the yield. And agriculture can use a lot of people. Employment, we have a huge problem of employment. So if you want to resolve that issue, you can resolve it through agriculture. Before, in Africa, if you say you are a farmer, people look at you like a poor people, somebody that cannot sustain for itself. But today, the face of agriculture is completely changed with the use of technology. You can increase the population. We can get good seed, good fertilizer, good technology, drip irrigation. Uh, you know, Greenhouses are very good because we have a lot of insects. If you're under greenhouse, not an insect can access to your greenhouse. The use of drip irrigation allow you to economize the water. It allow you to economize fertilizer. If you add all those one together, agriculture to me today is the good opportunity to be richer and richer.
Yeah, and I like that you acknowledged earlier the face of agriculture has changed, and a lot of that is because technology has allowed farmers to get smarter. It allows farming to look like a really great opportunity to bring young people back into the industry. But you mentioned some of the technology that your greenhouse uses. Tell us a little bit more about some of the automation, the computerization that you have within your greenhouse that you're able to do things more efficiently.
It allows you to control the quantity of water you are giving to each crop. Let's say if you take a 1 hectare greenhouse, you have 24,000 plants inside, and each plant has one dripper. So the computer can calculate if you decide to give 1 liter of water, it will give exactly 1 liter. And this computer is connected to a kind of station of meteo. It gives all meteorological data, and if there is more sun, the computer will decide by itself to increase the quantity of water. If it's cloudy, it's been no much heat, the computer will decide by itself to reduce the quantity of water. And this computer can control the quantity of water not used by the plants. And the next day, it will decide to adjust. So it's a complete economy on irrigation and use of fertilizer. Also, we have climate control. So there is sensor inside the greenhouse that will say, okay, today we are doing tomatoes. Tomatoes, to do good tomatoes, you have to be between 24 Celsius and 29. In Fahrenheit, I don't know how much it will give. So the same sensor will know outside, it's, let's say, 35 degrees or 40 degrees. So the computer will use tools like misting, like shade net, aluminum shade nets, like the misting and fan, and the ventilator will be using in order to reduce the temperature which you have inside and what you have inside, and to reduce in order to fit the need of the plants. So you see, it's something like that. It's very fabulous.
So, what are all of the different crops you are growing within your greenhouses right now? You mentioned tomatoes. What else?
We eat tomatoes, cucumbers, sweet melon. We can do lettuce. It depends on the market, what market needs. When other people cannot produce outside in open field, I know already in March there will not be tomatoes, or in May nobody can do with out open field with the heats. Nobody can do cucumber. So greenhouse allow me to do what the other people cannot do outside.
And Amadou, why have you had such a heavy focus on water? What do you think is important from your perspective on the topic of water?
You can do farming with water. Water is necessary. But what kind of water? What quantity of water? If you give to a plant more water than needed, it's a mistake. If you give less than needed, it's a mistake. You know, that's why to me, the drip irrigation is the more efficient tool we have actually. But with drip irrigation, you can give water. If you don't close you don't close the water, water will still continue to go. So today we are introducing very simple technology. It's kind of, they call it, I don't know the name in English, is know how hard is the soil or how soft is the soil because you give much water. So today we connect it to the valve. If the soil is too dry, it's give information to the valve open because the plant need the water. If it is too soft, it give the same information, close it by yourself. So it's been the quantity of water you have, you can grow more crops than before. So that's why water is something, the use of water is very important in agriculture. By the way, we are using not simple water, water with fertilizer. So if you give much water with fertilizer than the plant need really, it's when you waste water and you use fertilizer. And for a farmer, the cost of irrigation and fertigation is about 40 to 41% of the all costs. So we are working to reduce costs and to increase the yield.
Yeah. How do you think water plays into future conversations that we have around sustainability and the environment and climate change?
To me, today, if there is war in the world, it's around oil, gas, gold, diamonds. I'm convinced that the next 50 years, the world in the world will be around water. Water will be the most important resource for human being. So the climate is changing very fast. Like last year, we had 5 months of rainy season. Before, we had only 3. Some other places in Africa, they have no water, you see. I forget the name in English. They don't have rain, So that's mean that the tools we are using, if you are under greenhouse, you don't use the rainwater directly. We use water from the soil, let's say. If there is too much water, it doesn't make any difference for the greenhouse plant because they are covered with plastic and net around. So it's been, to me, greenhouse is something very good for the next generation in the climate change issue. Because even if there is less water, that water will be used very efficiently in order to do the maximum yield possible.
So you mentioned some of the outreach that you do with other farmers and doctors and consumers through your Facebook page. Tell me more about some of the education and outreach that you do within the community.
I'm talking about middle class. Middle class are people who are educated. They are not farmers. They are not agronomists, and they have money. They will say that since Amadou is an architect, famous architect, turn to agriculture. We too can do the same thing. But they, at the beginning, they didn't want to do that step, knowing that they don't know they can do mistake, they can lose money. But by the experience I had on mistake I did before, I lost a lot of money being at the place I'm today. So I train them. I tell them, okay, you want to do it? I can open a WhatsApp group, you and me and your worker in the farm. You have a farm? Yes, I have a farm. Do you have water? Yes, I have a water. Okay, are you ready to go? Okay, this is the seed you should use. I can go if needed to see what you are doing there. But mostly, I do it through pictures. Every day they take pictures. If there is disease, they send it to me. By my experience, I can tell them, do that, don't do that, don't do that. I do such consultancy free of charge. 2 years ago, Mali was importing sweet melon from Senegal. So with that system, today Mali is exporting. Look at, let's say the same thing, the watermelon. We're importing watermelon from Morocco. Morocco is 4,200 kilometers from Mali. Now we have enough watermelon in the market of Mali. So no more importation. So we did it because there is middle class who have money to invest in small agricultures. 1 hectares maximum, 5,000 square meters with efficiency.
Thank you, Amadou, and thank you all for tuning in with us. Next month, we'll be back with another great farmer interview focusing on sustainability, regenerative agriculture, and World Earth Day. So until next time, check us out on globalfarmernetwork.org or on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn, and TikTok.